Hi, this is Ennis from Never Stop Trucking here. I'm just making sure that the stream is live, and I wanted to talk to you guys about some things today, some updates, and let me see what yeah, and some updates from the industry. So today I have some news, but we'll wait until more people join in. And I wanted to talk about some things that are happening here, like some companies closing down, which is not great. Um, First, we have Sunset, actually here from Grand Rapids, and then we also have Meadowlark, and that one is from Montana, and that one is much larger. And I have someone here greeting me. So we'll talk about that later in this live stream. And if you have any questions, you can ask me at any time, and then I'll try to answer them uh, later in this session. I don't want to make this longer than 1 hour, maybe even shorter. We'll see how it goes. But the main topic here today is trucking. So I was offered a deal that I couldn't miss. Okay, so I'll be uh, driving, and I'll be making these videos too. Like today is Friday, and on a weekend or whenever I get a chance. So I will be still making dispatching videos for you guys. But I will also be making videos from the road here. So this is a kind of a regional slash local. Okay, so it's not exactly over the road, but I'm Michigan, and this route has Ohio and Indiana and Michigan, so there will be uh, driving, and this is a dedicated drop and hook loads on a flatbed with side curtains, which is really interesting. And it's dedicated, it's preloaded, and you deliver the stops and you go back empty. You bring that empty trailer back, which is really cool. So once you're done, you don't have to wait for anything. And then what's also nice is that these are dedicated, and it's just like there is no backing to docks and waiting for a load, which is really great. So I wanted to update you guys on that because you deserve to know what's going on. Everyone has been great and supporting in everything that I do here. And 99.9 comments are positive. And as I said, you guys deserve to know that. And then I think I will be bringing more value to the content. I used to drive. I drove for almost 20 years. 15, at least 15 of that has been in a semi truck, and I have a lot of experience. Some people were saying, "Hey, like you don't look that old." Well, I started a long time ago. I started when I was like 22, 23. So that was a long time ago. And I think that brings value to not just to the content that I provide on the channel, but also to me dealing with everyday tasks with drivers, with brokers. Uh, Having actual driving experience is very helpful when you're talking to drivers, and you know what they're going through. Sometimes you may even have an advice for them. You may tell them, um, that there can be suggestions or something that I know that they don't know, or I'm learning from them. So to it gives me an advantage from other dispatchers, trucking authorities, dispatching companies, people who are generally dealing with drivers and truckers. It helps a lot. And then also on this channel here, I have been not just doing the talk, I have been walking the walk. I have around 40 live sessions of me dispatching trucks and finding loads. And I know there are other dispatching channels who do it sometimes, like for a short time, but not even close to what I do. And when we are talking about trucking channels, because I follow a lot of trucking channels, like truck drivers, they are driving, they're recording themselves on the road, and they're giving advice, and you can see that they're actually driving, all right? They're legit. But with me, with all my previous 350 videos, you can see that I'm real, that I am doing what I'm preaching. And of course, everyone makes mistakes, and I'm sure there are a lot of mistakes there, but I try to own them. I try to admit that, hey, I made a mistake there. I should have done it different, so next time I'll try to do it different. And you can learn from my mistakes, and I can as well. Let me show you this, what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to switch to screens here. And this is it, okay? I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit. So this is it. These are the stops. You just go to home improvement slash constructions stores and places, and you just deliver these, it's really different. It's you gotta be very careful when you're doing that. I don't know why I'm getting out here so dark when I switch my screens, but for some reason, it's fine. But I want also to talk about other things, all right? So this is that. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure that I record a lot of videos from there and from here, from the office for you. Like I said, I just couldn't pass. This was too good. This was a very good offer, And in times when people are getting out of trucking or out of driving, I'm doing the opposite. And I just, maybe I want to prove to everyone and to myself that it's still doable. Maybe, I don't know. But and you also know that there is and this is something that I wanted to talk next about. You know that there are a lot of trucking companies going out of business, and everyone is struggling in trucking industry, and even here we can feel the effects on the business, and this will also help me. So there are a lot of positive sides, and also, like I said, it's the offer is too good to be passed. So, like I said, you can ask questions here if you want to about anything trucking or dispatching, and I want to discuss now. Here we have Sunset. Sunset, so that's the next topic, companies going out of business. Sunset, it has a long history here in Grand Rapids under different names, and but 90 truck drivers, employees will be without jobs. And it's not just, after owner failed to pay them for weeks. I'm not trying to defend these owners or defend their actions. It's just that I know what it's like to be in that and owning your own trucking authority. A lot of companies are making a mistake, and like I said, I'm not perfect either. So most trucking companies are living, you could say, like paycheck from paycheck. Most trucking companies don't have a lot of cash. Some of them have, and don't get me wrong, but most trucking companies, no matter whether they're big or small, don't have a lot of cash on hand. All right, and that can be, and I spoke about that the other day in a video that I named "No, There Is No Money in Trucking," and I spoke about the reasons because most of uh, the owners tend to spend too much. All right, when you see a lot of money, that's human. Most people are like that. They see a lot of money, they want to buy something that they wanted to have for a long time, they want to make some home improvements, buy a nice car, a nice home, go to a vacation, and you think that in this, and that's a big mistake, especially if you're in a spot market. You think that it's going to be forever like that. Like, I must be doing good now, so I'm making plans for next year, and I'm planning to have all this revenue and all these profits that I'm having now, which is wrong in the spot market. And then now we see even in contract marketing with contract rates, because the spot markets have been hurting for a long time now, a year and a half now probably, and these contracts are expiring, and now even these big companies that have had contracts are feeling that as well. So even if you're in that market, you have to be careful on how you plan the money. And what these guys are doing, the trucking companies, they are not planning for these times, and sometimes down the road, you get to that point, especially in the bad times, when you're spending the money up front. What I'm saying is, like, most companies will pay you for like a week, for the last week, sometimes for last 2 weeks, but it's usually for a week. So if you're getting money, they get to that point, like, let's say they have a payroll on Friday, and they get all the money this week, and now they're paying that money on that Friday. All right, so they get to that point, but what they should be doing is paying the last week's paycheck with the last week's money that they received from their customers, from brokers, from factoring companies. But sometime in the process, because you're spending too much, you're getting to the point that you're paying them from this week's money. And that's all okay until something big happens. If you're shutting down your company like they're doing now, then you're not going to be able to pay for the last week. All right? Then you have a big problem. You have 90 truck drivers and employees here that you owe money because you were paying them from this week's fundings. All right? So you can't pay them for next week, and also you cannot pay them out their escrow accounts, because a lot of trucking companies will do that. They will get usually $1,000 into an escrow account, no matter whether it's a company driver or an owner operator. And sometime along the way, they will spend that money too. So that's like, if you have like 70 drivers, that's $70,000 that you don't have. You spent it. It's not your money, and you spent it. And like I said, I'm not defending or I'm not blaming these guys, because you have to be really good with money and with financials in order to have that money saved somewhere, and it's untouchable. The escrow accounts, you can't touch them. It's not your money, and that's the problem with most companies. And it's easy for me here to say all that is easy for everyone who hasn't been in those shoes, and everyone is thinking like, hey, I'm gonna do it different. I'm gonna, if I do it, I would. Well, yes, probably in the first few years, but with time, the human in you, just because we are imperfect, just starts like, I'll just do a little bit. I'll need that money to cover something, because the times are tough. I have a big insurance payment, I have a big breakdown or something, or I'm going to invest it, I'm going to buy something with that money and I'll just put it back. and guess what? That rarely ever happens. Once you take the money out, it's not going back. So it's what it is. But here, Sunset went out of business. They sent their drivers just a message saying, "Hey, we are closing down," and you probably heard about that. But then, what's new to me this morning when I woke up, I found out that Meadowlark, and I think they had their logo, but there is no logo here. But most people have, if you have been in truck industry, you have heard of either the brokerage that they have or had, or you have seen their trucks. They had 273 drivers, and they had 40 terminals nationwide. And I believe I read somewhere that like the last year that they had was the record year. Yeah, right here. Revenue of $200 million. All right. And this is going to be happening a lot. And it's already been happening with smaller companies. We just don't know, like these 2 or 3 or 5 truck companies, or one owner operator. We just don't, they don't write on it on in the news. But more and more of these companies are going to be failing, and it's mostly due to money mismanagement. I understand that it's the times are tough. There is no money. The problem is that. And this company that I'm going to be doing these loads that I was just telling you about, they're different, all right? They are not they have their own product, and that's a big deal. They have their own product, and they sell it, and they send this on trucks and trailers out to their customers. It's different. They are not bidding they are not even in contract market. They are not in spot market. They're not bidding on these loads and trying to get the best loads. And it depends like on the markets whether they have their own product, and that's what they do. So big problem is that we are in that kind of industry where our income source and our profits come 100% from these loads that we are transporting for someone else. And once these markets go down, you still have to pay the drivers the same rates that you have been paying. You still have to pay for the fuel, maybe even more now than before, and maintenance and insurance and all that. But the rates are not there. So that is a big part of the problem. But there's also money mismanagement, because like we said, last year has been bad too, but before that we had record profits. Everyone had record profits. Everyone. If you were in that industry 2 years ago and 3 years ago, everyone had record profits, and everyone could have saved money, including myself. But most people didn't. All right. So it's mostly money mismanagement. And then also, once you see that everything is going down, you should be prepared and you should make a plan. You should not just sit and wait. And like I said, we all do that. We're just waiting here, trying to survive and see what's going to happen. And usually, because we know from experience that the times like these will change after a few months, at most after a year. But now it's going to be 2 years. I think in February 2021 is when the war between Russia and Ukraine started, and from then on, the fuel rates went up, and everything started going down. So it's going to be 2 years now, pretty soon, that we are in this position, and it's going to be hard to recover from that. All right. So that's what most people were planning on. Hey, this is just going to be for a few months, maybe a year at most. We're just going to manage. We're not going to have any profits. Maybe we'll get some loans. But you're getting these loans, and now you have to pay them, and you're getting another loan to pay that loan. and it's still bad. And now we have all these strikes in the auto industry. Yesterday, the biggest Ford plant in Kentucky, I think it's Louisville, and I have been there a few times myself when I was driving. They just walked out. I think 5,000 people, and it's like, and that's also hurting this industry. And then we also have the elections next year, so it's going to be tough. The remainder of this year and next year is going to be tough, and we're going to see a lot, unfortunately, more of this happening. And I know that the driver pay for the company drivers last year, it went up. I think it went up like 100% up as opposed to a few years ago. Because I remember, like, not a long time ago, company drivers were paid from 32 to like 40 cents per mile. If you had 42 or 45, man, you were doing great. But now it's like 60, 70 cents, even more per mile. And it's still not enough because of the inflation for the driver. It's not enough for them. But the problem is these companies now cannot afford those rates. So what are they gonna do? Are they gonna let these drivers know? Go. Who is gonna hire them? Like these big companies promise all this great pay, but once a driver starts driving there, it's not like that anymore. So now we're gonna get into a problem where we have drivers who are just getting out of this industry because they don't get the pay they deserve, or they don't give them enough miles or enough hours. So that's going to be even bigger problem. Okay, so I want to start getting to your questions here. And like I said, if you have any questions now, you can or comments. I would love to chat about just general trucking industry. So if you have any comments of what I just said, or generally about truck industry, just go ahead and we can talk about that. Alex is saying, hey man, I've noticed that the FMCSA page on the register part, there is a lot of people that are getting their MC revoked, or they're giving them up. Don't know what their thoughts about this. So I spoke to someone the other day, and there is there were a couple of videos with Alex, and he's a driver recruiter, and there are a few videos on this channel that we made with him, and his specialty was finding owner operators. And what these guys are doing, they're going to FMCSA, they're looking at the revoked MC numbers, and they're trying to recruit them to companies that have their own authority, okay, that need owner operators. So if you're an owner operator, you had your own authority, and you can't handle it. The company went out of business, the MC is revoked, but you still have a truck and you're still an owner operator. Now you need a company that you're going to lease onto as an owner operator. So these recruiters were using that FMCSA list to try to recruit them to their own company. So if you, this is a tip for you, if you have your own MC authority and you're trying to get owner operators, this is where you can start. Go to FMCSA website and look at those daily reports that they have of revocations, and you can contact those people and offer them to get leased on to you. And then also another comment on that, Alex, is that I totally understand that, especially if an owner operator has a truck payment that it's a large payment, or they can't find the good loads, they can't find a good routes. There are still okay loads out there. There are bad loads and okay loads. There are no good loads. But if you can find, as an owner operator, if you can find an area that works for you, where you can go there and come back home, or do like a triangle, go to one area and then from that area go to the other one and then come back, or do more of those, whatever you want to do, then you should be doing okay. The way I have been doing this for the last 10 years is I've been sending owner operators to where they want to go and keeping them there. All right. If you're an owner operator and you're like, hey, well, I don't want to go do this route anymore, or like this, go between these states. I want to do something else because I just got tired of it. It's boring. I want to see the rest of the country. No, right now you can't do that. You can't just like, what's the word? Randomly go from one spot to another one just because you got bored. You want to find something that will keep you busy and that how much the loads are paying to. For example, here from here to like state of New York or Pennsylvania, how much these loads are paying, and with time, with brokers, you get into touch with them and you form relationships to the point where they're just sending you the loads for next week, because you have done a load this week, they might tell you, hey, I have another one for next week, or you ask them, and then slowly with time you get like 5 of those loads that you have done, and hopefully one of these brokers will have this load next week for you. All right, the load, the shipper, the receiver, the route, like where you're gonna sleep, where you're gonna get fuel, if you can get there early, or if they need appointment times. So you get to know these loads. All right, and then same thing with your backhaul. So in a while, in a few months or in a year, you will have this. I'm missing words again. You will be able to choose from all these loads, and that's like if you can right now have a gross of $5,000 or $4,500 this week, and your fuel is like 1,000 to like 1,200 a week because you're doing these shorter loads, from Michigan to East. It's like 400 or 500 miles from here and back, and you have a liability and all that. You can your check can be after everything between $2,000 and $3,000, and if it's constant, and your truck is paid out, or you don't have a big truck payment, you'll be doing okay. If you go randomly from here to there to Georgia and then go to Oregon or Texas, and like every week is going to be different, and you're going to be potentially losing on these loads that are constantly coming from one point to another one, and that are better paying, because you just try to fish a load, for that day. All right, this way you form relationships. So that's my thinking. If you're an owner operator, you should try that. If you don't do that right now, then yes, you will have to, give up your authority and maybe find with your truck, find a company that has these constant loads. At least you don't have to worry about safety and the liability and all that. All right. So another appreciate your content. Thank you. Hello, Anis. Is it a good idea to create a TMS software for trucking with accounting, maintenance, safety, dispatch all in one? I know that a lot of companies are using one. I think in the last live stream I answered a similar question, or I spoke about that. If you're going to have something that's out of ordinary, maybe AI, because, I don't know if you know how to do AI, but at least something out of ordinary, something that, and I'm talking about TMS for trucking, then you might succeed. There are so many TMS softwares out there, and I'm sure if you do a good job on marketing and you provide a good customer service and you have a good product, I'm sure that you can sell it to trucking companies or dispatching companies. That's not my point. I'm not saying you're going to fail, but if you want to make it big, just be out of ordinary. Do something that offer something that not everyone is offering, or that most people don't offer. So you have to come up with something out of ordinary, in my opinion, if you want to make it quick. If this way, it's going to take you a long time, and there are so many other products there that are very similar. So yes, do TMS, but focus on something that most of these TMS softwares are not offering. Okay. I think Jorge, I think that's how it's pronounced. Sorry. That's why if you're owner operator, you choose a sector that is vital to everyday life. Yes, that's another thing. If you're an owner operator, and if you have a small trucking company, it really helps if you have constant loads, or a contract with someone, or that you do something out of ordinary, because everyone is concentrating on the spot markets, and I want to make a video about that, about the spot markets, and what most of us are expecting too much from spot markets. There are a lot of companies who only do backhauls, like they have something going to one city or a state or region, and they don't have anything to come back. They just don't want to come back empty, and they find a backhaul just to cover the fuel, or the expenses. But we are concentrating 100% on the spot markets, and that's what and like Jorge said, you should find something that's vital, that people need, and that not everyone is doing, and that's hard. But if you keep trying, I'm sure you can find something like that that's paying really good. All right. I want to learn dispatch. We have dispatching courses ready to dispatch. It's in the description of every video that I have here on the channel. So if you want to learn dispatch, you can either watch all of my 350 videos or get our dispatching course. Hey bro, how are you? I'm good, thank you. I hope you are all doing good as well. What if I have a good price for my TMS and I have a big trucking company list to call? If you have a good price, in my opinion, having the price really doesn't matter. Any products you put out there, especially here on internet, the price doesn't matter that much. Of course, there's a big difference between $10 a month and $1,000 a month. But if it's $20 or $50 or $100, is it providing the value to me? It really, if I see a price of $20, and it's not providing any value to me, I'm not even going to consider that program or that product. If the price is $200 and it gives me a great value, and it helps me saving time or saving money or be more productive, then I will buy it for sure. All right. So the price is really not it's what you offer and the marketing. As you can, if you can present it to more people, but people that actually need it, not just like randomly, people that really need your product, then I think you can succeed. And I'm not an expert on that. This is like social marketing or just regular marketing. I'm not an expert. I'm just talking about like that from my experience, and I'm thinking as a trucking company here. I'm thinking, hey, will your TMS bring me value? That's all I'm saying. What do you think about increased prices in the new year? Well, if you think better rates, if that's what you're thinking, I don't think I'm always an optimist, but I don't think they're gonna increase much. Maybe depending on the season, like maybe around holiday season, or if something big happens that, like all of a sudden everything starts picking up. But the way it looks like right now, I think it's probably going to stay the same, at least through the first half of next year. And like I said, we do have elections next year in fall, so everyone is going to wait for that. The big companies, they're just watching that, and it's always like that. It has always been like that in trucking industry, and that's also helping this bad situation that we don't know what's going to happen next year, and everyone is waiting for that. So maybe towards the end of next year we'll see better rates. I have a list with numbers and emails of like 500,000 companies. Yeah, well, if you contact them, if you call them, and if you don't give up, like after a few days, when everyone is hanging up on you, if you keep calling them and you're persistent, then yes, I think you will make it. I think you can make it, and you can sell. If it's a good product, I'm sure you can sell it. I'm just saying, try to come up with something extraordinary that you can add to your program. Okay, and I can even. I don't know if you already have something, send it to me. Send me the link, and when I have time, we can talk about it. I can give you some insights into your TMS, and we can go from there. I'm willing to do that. It's not a problem. Okay. We work for agriculture industry. We haul produce from the fields to the packaging house. We average about 5K a week, and our fuel bills around 1K. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. That's what you want as an owner operator. That's what you want. You want something specific, and you want to find this niche that not everyone is, and that's constant and consistent. So that's what I'm talking about. Yep. I'm from Punjab, India. Dispatch course price high because monthly salary. I know. I understand. I do have. Like the other day, we had a 2-day discount. The course was $150, I think, and I know it's still not enough for you, and I totally understand and I respect it. Like I said, you don't have to pay for a course. You can watch through all my videos. You can watch through other channels dispatching videos. You can ask questions here, email me, make notes, pretend this is a course and dedicate a couple of hours a day where you watch some of these videos and ask questions and you make notes. And if you're not sure about something, then you ask. All right. So you can do it that way too. You don't have to pay for knowledge right now. It's free out there. All right. And then with some experience, you will hopefully learn. Okay, I think that's it. There were questions. There were very good questions. Not that many. I expected more, but hopefully I can do another one soon. Thanks, guys, for watching. Hope you all succeed. Hope the situation becomes better for everyone. And don't lose the hope. I know, like today, I'm sounding. It's raining outside. It's been raining for days. It's very dark, and it kind of affects your mood. But I'm not giving up. I think this will work out. We just have to go through it. Thanks, everyone, and see you guys later.